Sumit, the world does not revolve around the United States, and let's also try and appreciate that countries like Russia, China, Brazil, they're all trying to find uh, you know uh, partners that resonate with the interests that they have. Sumit, uh, you know, uh, leaders may change, but the interests of these countries will remain the same. Donald Trump is here today; he may be gone tomorrow, but India's interest in getting what it wants from the Americans and vice versa is perhaps going to be the same. It is in America's interest, Sumit, to get along with India because they obviously want to keep China under a check. I'm pretty sure that the Chinese are very, very happy that this kind of friction that Donald Trump has created over 3 decades of hard work between these two countries is going to open opportunities for China and India to come closer.
Vinny, thank you very much for having me on your show. If you look at it today, you don't know what is in the mind of President Trump and you don't know what does he really want. Because what we can make out, and if you look at the Nikki Haley's article, if you sum it up, a couple of things which come to the table. Because she's clearly saying whatever you're doing is advantage to China. Whatever you're doing is helping China. And why are you doing it? That's the logic. The first thing she says this is, look, you have destroyed this 20 or 30 years of relation, which you rightfully pointed out. Second, you want to delink supply chains from China, but you're messed up with India. Your press secretary was talking yesterday that she started using the word sanctions. For the first time after 30 years, the word sanctions is being used by the press secretary, right? Which is something important. Then you want to have manufacturing, but your manufacturing cannot have a base unless and until India comes and works and partners with you. Because how will you do it? Thirdly, she talks of that India's economy is emerging, India is doing fantastically well. And then she talks about the India's military might. She says India's military power is so powerful today, it can be a counterbalance or used as a way to balance out a lot of things in Middle East that can off-burden you with a lot of Middle Eastern work if India is really comes up. Then, and largest democracy and the oldest democracy coming together is a but natural thing. But out of all that, you're trying to scuttle the world's largest democracy. And whom are you trying to bring up? The autocratic regimes of this mullah military nexus, that is Pakistan, with this failed field marshal, and you're trying to bring Xi Jinping. The question is that, let me ask and question that through your channel, when the Pahalgam carnage happened, Trump's family, major stakeholder company, was 5 days after that in Pakistan, done a MOU with a crypto business, and they met failed Field Marshal Munir and Shahbaz Sharif. It's 5 days after Pahalgam, exactly 5 days, and Trump family controls that business. Now the question is, that is possible. How do we know what the hell is happening on earth? How do we know what is happening? Because Nikki Haley is a follow Republican. She's questioning Trump. She's questioning his policies because the policies of a person, the logics of a person cannot be bigger than the country. Because what Ambassador Saab rightly said, nobody sees the logic in it. Kya hai bhaiya? Kya kar rahe ho? Nobody knows what he's up to. Nobody understands what he's up to. And this word of sanctions and all is quite demeaning. If he thinks or believes this India of 90s and 2000s, those days are gone. I mean, you threatened us with $44 billion of tariff. We have got 50 countries to sell our goods to. We have identified 50 more countries. And what is emerging, Vineet, is what he should be worried about is the Eurasian bloc. Eurasian bloc is now China, Russia and India. And between Russia and China, whoever has the say will be determined by who says India is. India and Russia are going to be all-time closer. Dr. Jaishankar is in Moscow today. He must have left by this time. 18th, 19th, when he was here, he met Dr. Jaishankar Saab, he met Doval Saab, he met Prime Minister Modi, and Prime Minister Modi tweeting after that. That tweet talks a lot. And next day, Jaishankar Saab is in Moscow, that Indian-Russian intergovernment commission which we have. That is the 26th meet of that he's organizing. Putin is going to be here. We're going to organize a lot of things. We are warming up and recalibrating our diplomacy with Chinese. We are very close to the Russians. And now we talk of a Eurasian continent. And when I talk of Europe, what Trump has goodwill with is the Western Europe, not the entire Europe. Now Canada, he doesn't have goodwill with. Africa, we're already ahead of the game. These oceanic countries were ahead of the game. Caribbeans were ahead in the game. Now when this Eurasian bloc emerges, so is Trump going to still be the same with some allies in the Western Europe? And that too, because Israel has started the assault on Gaza, most of them don't agree with Trump's stand on that. So Trump is all alone. Because here is a Israeli theater on, here is an Indian theater on. That's why Nikki Haley suggested him, why don't you go and talk to Prime Minister Modi and settle out this Russian oil? Because if you want to make it an issue of ego, and in that ego, if Pakistan and China is going to come up, that's your problem. And especially, what perplexes me, the leader of the free world has best buddies, a failed field marshal who is a कहते हैं ना धरती पे बोझ, and you are helping Xi Jinping.
Okay.
What is your agenda? I mean, what on earth are you trying to do? Or is in the out of the whole world, do you have only two best buddies, Pakistan and China? I mean, whose agenda is being run? You were talking of delinking of supply chains. You were talking of freeing from the Chinese clutches the world. You were talking of liberating the American economy from Chinese dependence. Is exactly how you're going to do it by putting sanctions. And even if you put sanctions, you put 25,000 sanctions on Russia, you could not move a brick there. Do you think by impacting a $40 billion of export, India is going to go bankrupt and come begging and pleading? Whatever answer you needed, Mr. Trump, you got on from the 15th August from the ramparts of the Red Fort, where the Honorable Prime Minister has clearly stated there will be no compromises done. You take it or you leave it. You should be bothered about India and China getting together. You should be bothered about India, China, Russia getting together. And if I talk of the Eurasia, Vineet, look at the number of nuclear weapons they hold. Look at the amount of population they have. Look at the amount of international trade control. Look at the GDP they control. Look at the food production they control. Look at the minerals they control. Look at the industrial production and the markets they control. And
Okay.
that too, like when America and a part of the Western Europe, are you answer to that? Are you changing the world order and dollar dominance permanently? That is the question which should be asked to Donald John Trump. What the hell are you up to?
Okay.
That's
All,
the point.
all right. Okay. All right. Fair enough.